Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Coming to you almost live from the Temple of Hagnar in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, it's the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 139. It is January 8th, and I'm your host, Bill. 2023 is the year of narrative, people. Believe me. Costello, and with me?
All the way from the nowhere between realms, it's Joshua, Nemo, my name forevermore. Alt.
You're kind of hitting like what we internally call this show, the show about nothing.
It is. It's the nothing show. It's very interesting sort of timing, right, with everything that's going on. Yep. Just with the new year releases coming out just after the holidays, and then, well, you're prepping for something pretty big.
Jesus, yeah.
So we're coming to talk to you, or more talk at you about, I don't know, just whatever we're going to talk about.
It's a little bit of everything. It's really a potpourri, a hodgepodge, if you will, of things that we're going to hit. And there's no actual real constant theme, although we're going to try to lay a ground map for what 2023 is going to look like.
Yeah. We'll see if we're successful with that. But thank you for sticking with us on this.
Yeah.
We're still going to have some fun, though.
That's right.
So, well, you're prepping for something pretty big, right, Bill?
There's this little tournament coming up. It's a West Coast thing. It's not very big. It's Las Vegas Open.
Yeah.
I don't know what the numbers for 40K are, or I don't even really know the number of tickets sold for each. Granted, I don't think we're going to hit the pre-COVID numbers just yet, but this is the first LVO or the second LVO since COVID, so it should show some signs of growth. I'm really looking forward to it. A friend of mine decided to just chuck caution to the wind and come with me out there to help assistant TO the thing.
Wonderful.
And he's donating all of his terrain. So actually a couple more boards worth of terrain. So that's phenomenally awesome. Really looking forward to it. Have just almost all of it hammered out now. Really have to fine tune the scenarios. And what I'm trying to do this time with the scenarios is first of all, there'll be a scenario for every board rather than what we did last time, which was use the scenario creator, working and making sure that as I put the treasure, the coins that are really the crux of the campaign, how you're gonna win and buy stuff for your army and replenish your losses. I'm trying to make sure those aren't going to negatively affect the play of the scenario, because if you have competing objectives, it can get really weird and not be fun. And I don't want that. I don't want that for anybody.
Well, I mean, can't wait for the after LVO report.
Me too. Because that'll mean I'm done. Oh, God. Yeah, it'll be.
That'll be an entire episode as we go through it all. More than likely, I assume. So I'm excited for it. I mean, you're putting so much hard work into this. So if you're listening and you're going to be there, get ready for a wild time.
I hope it's going to be fun. It's 4 games of narrative craziness. I tried to keep the schedule light because I don't want it to be oh my God, not another day of 3 games packed into 12 hours. No, I want it to be relaxing and you can come and go. And if you're scheduled for a class, you can do that too. Mm-hmm. So there's time to do makeup games in the evening if you weren't able to make it during the day. So, just trying to make it to where it's fun for the people that are taking part.
It's going to be great.
I hope so.
It's going to be great.
I hope so.
If y'all aren't excited yet, get excited.
Get excited. And of course, we probably should have hit this first, but hope everyone had good holidays, enjoyable, peaceful, energetic, whatever it was that would make your boat float. Hope you had that.
Yes, we want as many floated boats as possible.
Yes. My holidays were a little weird because in between the holidays and before and after, I spent time in the hospital.
I mean, you had to go and contract the flu.
And that flu was actually really, it's a lot more. I kind of scoffed at the reports that it's pretty bad. No, it's pretty bad. And boy, just the inability to breathe is not a fun thing. So I don't recommend it. Don't get it. Don't do it. But yeah, it was a kind of a few episodes there where just I wear a CPAP at night when I sleep. So I'm kind of used to having air coming at me. It's a whole different thing when you're on a ventilator.
Yeah.
It's a completely different thing. Like when it's forcing your lungs to open, I'm like, well, this is weird. But it was kind of interesting because it took 3 times for them to really figure out why it kept coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it turned out to be the different medicines I was taking, or a medicine I was taking was actually causing it to reappear, which was annoying. As soon as I stopped taking that and started taking the electrolytes they gave me, all of a sudden it was gone. I mean,
Would you look at that?
gone. Yeah, so that wasn't totally related to the flu, but the flu is what started it. Okay, so shall we move on to happier and pleasanter things? How were your holidays, by the way? I'm sorry. Duh.
Well, leading up to the holidays, I myself had like the nastiest cold that was coming around.
Ugh.
My throat was in so much pain, just like every single swallow was excruciating pain.
I hate that.
Yeah, for like a week.
Ugh.
And, I struggled to try and find, someone like a way to get in to talk to a doc about it, right?
Yeah.
Eventually I was able to just do like an online thing just because they were so backed up, or it was like at times I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Like, no, you just have a cold. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh, thanks.
Like all that time and worry for nothing, right? The age old going, it's a virus. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's good.
Did you get your flu shot? What you mean last year's flu? Yeah, no. Okay, I'm not going to go there.
So than that, it was pretty low key. The week after Christmas, my DA gave us the week off, so I was just hanging out,
Yeah,
painted a lot of models we'll talk about. In
Not like
Croatia.
you got much done or anything.
Didn't paint an entire Middle Earth army or anything, but
No.
so yeah, it was pretty right. So
Good deal.
I'm looking forward to what this year is going to bring, and a bunch of changes happening at work that are going to
Oh, nice.
make it so I can focus on my cases more than others.
Oh, good
So
deal.
it's going to be a good time.
Nice.
Yeah, so that does it for my holidays, but I suppose what we consider happier things might be the first new dawn of the year.
Wow. And what a new dawn it was, unless you play AOS. All right, so yesterday's pre-orders. Well, we did get the Abhorrent Ghoul King
Love it.
come out, and that is just such a gorgeous model.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps a harbinger of things to come for Flesh Eater Courts.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's definitely an omen. Ooh, see that tie-in right there?
Oh, I did.
Yeah. So also up were, if you need to beef up your 40K Space Marine armies, there are strike forces out for Iron Hands, Salamanders, White Scars, and Ultra Smurfs.
Yeah.
So, okay, those were completely non-impressive to me, only because I don't need them. I mean, if you're starting out, those are awesome boxes.
Yeah, if you say, hey, I've never had a Space Marine army before, I don't even have any of the models, and I really like one of those 4, yeah, it's a good starting point.
It is, and the other thing to consider with those is keeping in mind that those are going to be the basic kits for all of those, along with some of the upgrade sprues to make them into Iron Hand Salamanders, what have you. So if you've got a buddy that's, all Salamanders, and you don't want that, you can still get that box, get the basic units for whatever you're doing, and just give him the Salamander stuff.
Yeah, that would have been great. They obviously were using this to try and like repackage like Kasaro Khan and Agrax Agakatone and all that.
Yep.
I think that particularly the White Scars box, if they had dropped Kasaro and threw in a speeder, that box would have been selling. But Kasaro, like it's all vehicles, right? It's all bikes,
Yeah,
obviously,
it's all bikes.
except for the Khan,
The Khan.
right? So it just doesn't make sense.
Who
It's
walks?
just Yeah, if it was like, oh, by the way, release the new Kasaro Khan on jet bike model, then we'd probably be having a different discussion.
That's
but
right.
It's not that. And
He didn't get the memo.
no, I didn't. The Iron Hand ones is pretty decent.
Yeah,
And frankly, the Ultramarines is probably the most impressive in terms of what you actually can do for the army.
Wow. Yeah. Especially with the new, which we'll get into probably a lot more after dark, but with the new 40K changes,
Yep.
that box went from meh to holy hand grenades.
Yep.
So, yeah, because just about that boxes full of hand grenades.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're good boxes. Also, the long-awaited, incredibly hyped Arcs of Omen Abaddon, the first book of the Arcs of Omen series. This is a new mode of play. This is their narrative. So don't feel like, oh, it's just GW doing the old money grab. I got to buy that book to play my army. Nope, shut up. This is for Arcs of Omen. If you're not interested, don't buy it. If you are, oh my God, it's Abaddon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to really dive into the actual story. I'll pick mine up next week and read it. And this is just the first domino to fall. I mean, even in this new dawn, we're going to be talking about all the other things tied to Arcs of Omen, but this is the major story arc that's coming through. And, I mean, I guess it is low-hanging fruit to use Abaddon as your vehicle to get it done.
Sure.
Right, since that's what they did with Vigilus. But it's going to be packed with story and narrative.
Oh,
and, I mean, that's been their focus. I mean, or for this year, they were going hard on this, and I am so happy for it.
Yep, it's going to be crazy.
And segue into the new way to play in Arcs of Omen is the new boarding actions, which is, just roughly speaking, a 500-point game where you have maybe an HQ, and then you have a smattering of different kinds of units you can take. Usually only have 3 you can take, but different armies have different options for you. So they all have their spiciness, but it's going to be a really small game played with those really tight corridors that we saw coming out in the Kill Team boxes. Which, by the way, just some of the most amazing terrain. Yeah,
it's what's his name? Zone Mortalis brought to its ultimate conclusion that set the I call it the boarding actions play set, but it's just gonna be nuts. It's close quarters combat. It is truly, if you watched Angels of Death, a lot of the combat scenes in that were close quarters. Oh my God, what do we do? If you've played Space Hulk, this is going to be Space Hulk, except with the rules you know and love. And so looking forward to this. And honestly, let's face it, this is step 2 from Kill Team. This is Kill Team, boom, Arcs of Omen, boom, full 40K. So it is the stepping stone. And in a really good way, I think, being able to limit, you can't take your vehicles, you can't take your monsters, you can't take Titanic units. Right. It's so constrained. It's another one of those stepping stones that makes it to where the person just getting into the hobby is not going to be raffle stomped by the guy that's been around for 10 years. It's not going to be, well, I'll just bring my knights and, you're done. No, it's going to make for some really good games, I think. The chapter approved Arcs of Omen comes with it, comes with it, but is also coming out next week. So boom, there's the book, everything you need, the rules. For the competitive play. It's gonna be interesting to see what armies shake out. We could talk more about that after dark with the new data slate, but it's really interesting coming out. And they got that cool map, right? The Mercury Exultant. Oh, stop. What? Yes. Instant day 1, minute 1 purchase. Yay. Just another one of the Siege of Terra maps. Those are, I'll take it. They're so gorgeous. And I am so I really want to wall up the windows in this room so that I have more wall space to hang stuff that I've gotten over the years. Cause I have all these great maps, all these great things that have come out and nowhere to put them. My walls are, used. So just a little. Makes me angry. And of course, I can't put that stuff in the living room. The wife has pretty much drawn a line in the sand. So, but the new Siege of Terra map is out, along with Siege of Terra Book 5 softcover, Mortis, Book 5 Mortis. Yeah, we got there. Softcover. Yeah. So, very nice. Assassinorum Kingmaker softcover, as well as the Wrath of the Lost Flesh Tearers novels softcover as well. And for all those Space Marine Heroes fans who... like the old school Magic the Gathering, rip open a pack to see what you get feeling. The Blood Angels packs are coming. So I'm interested to see, because the last pack that came out, they guaranteed that if you bought a box, you would get the full squad. Or you can do the pick and choose, and buy just one individual and see what you get. So I bought a box just to see. Yes, I'm stupid. I admit it. Got him. They got him. There you go. So that was kind of the pre-orders. Yeah, a lot of pre-order stuff. Cycling back to the Abhorrent Ghoul King, the Boxing Day mini. Phenomenal model. I just blew my mind. Yeah. I was really kind of Boxing Day came and went, and I wasn't on the website. I didn't even think about it. It wasn't until the store manager was like, "Hey, did you order your Boxing Day mini yet? Because it's only good until tomorrow." And I was like, "Whoa!" Head blew up. Yeah, I had to order it right away. I was like, I almost missed that. Like I missed the Christmas party.
Oh man, I'd be excited to see some more updates for the Flesh Eater Courts line like that. Like of all the ones to put out there, I mean, I feel like that's hopefully just a hearkening to what one of the yet unrevealed death tomes is going to be in it.
I think we've pretty much determined it's got to be FEC and OBR.
Yeah.
So I think we nailed that one.
Yeah.
But time will tell because we don't know.
Except for all the Soul Blight bros who are like, but what about ARPA?
Well, and I truly believe it's been over 6 months. We need new Daughters of Cain book. So
and a Lumineth book.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We're bad. Yeah.
Well, I saw that Order was down the line, and I know Karajan needs an update, but
let's do Doc.
Yeah.
We forgot the Black Legion dice set.
Oh yeah.
In New Dawn. Oh, rewind. New Dawn. Black Legion dice. So if you want another cool dice set, if you love paying exorbitant prices for 20 dice, it's awesome.
They look amazing.
They do. They're awesome. They're so cool.
They scratch an itch for you.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Also announced on the Warhammer community, they talked about for the Middle Earth strategy battle game, AOS, the Ruins of Osgiliath terrain set. So not only are they doubling down on Middle Earth, thankfully, but also those are some amazingly cool buildings that are enclosed and line of sight blockers.
Yep.
So yes, we're finally going to have building terrain that isn't ruins to play with AOS.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, those are going to be great sets. And the beauty of it is started playing a little Middle Earth strategy with the wife.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The opportunity to be able to build up that whole Osgiliath board now with all the different terrain sets. Yay! I'm down. I hope
100%.
they've done it for Rohan. They've made a very nice range of models.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, looking forward to that. And of course, it does double duty.
It does, and if you do play AOS, I encourage you to go look at the terrain for Middle Earth.
Oh yeah,
because some of those pieces are just amazing. Like the houses from Lake Town, just amazing.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely, and the way you can build them, most of the stuff that puts it in Dale is separate.
Yeah.
So it's actually a house, and then you add all the stuff that makes it look like it's from Dale. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to. You can just make it a nice little standalone house for your AOS boards, which is huzzah.
And all those little gantryways and platforms and stuff for the river.
Yep.
The docks and all that. If you've got water on your board, this is a great, not physical water, folks. Come on.
Yeah, no, don't spill stuff on the board. That's bad.
But if it's a board with the river on it, like those are amazing to throw on there.
Yeah, exactly. Great little bridges. Oh, and of course, if you're a kit basher, oh god, the opportunities there are crazy. It's like the Rohan terrain set. You can just go flipping nuts. So that Ray Dranfield, that guy that does terrain, he's a keeper for them.
Yeah, I think so.
They need to make sure they pay him well.
Yeah,
he's a thinker. A true mechanical engineer that understands aesthetics as well.
Yeah.
And the ability to just make that stuff so good. So well, I should say. All right. A recurring theme for this week is going to be White Dwarf number 483.
Oh, Lord.
Because holy junk is that thing loaded with narrative. I mean, almost the entire issue is pretty much devoted to narrative stuff.
It's awesome.
You have the expansion of the Flashpoint Rondal. Now it's the Kraken Strike, so get your giants ready to go. But, of course, it's expanding and filling out that whole narrative campaign.
Yep.
Then over on the 40K side, they take the Flashpoint Nephilim, and they do this entire setup with all the cards bound into the book, all the things you need to do an underground Necron Tomb City. So just, wow, the stuff they're coming out with. And another highlight of this, and we'll probably get to it later, is in the Worlds of Warhammer, they have the how to choose your faction in AOS.
Right?
The New Year, New Army stuff. So, that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
One thing we'll talk about here in a minute too, though, is the hobby bingo portion.
Yep.
It's kind of baked into something that Bill and I are taking a part of. We talked about it a little bit last year, but it's new and improved ever chosen process. So once we get to creation and battle, Bill and I will just bend your ear about that one.
Yeah, sure will.
God, this is such a good issue.
Yes.
And particularly, I think, relevant to AOS players out there, the Great Stomp. They've been going through it. I think they're on part 3 in this White Dwarf, but they actually have the card where it has both the adversaries of the WOG and the Great Stomp itself.
Yes.
And so, depending on, if you're trying to stop the stomp or you're trying to stomp
the stomp, yeah.
It's got the cards for you there. It's got the some of the stuff for the sieges and everything. It's looking fantastic. And I kind of been talking with some folks down at the shop about trying to run the Great Stomp, because we got a few destruction players who can definitely come on down and make it happen. And then, there are those of us that have all the other stuff too, so we can try and fight back against it.
It's so, that Flashpoint Rondal that they've done now over 3 issues is just so good. Yeah. It's literally narrative and it can. Mm-hmm. And what I truly love about their design for it is it's very, very open-ended in that it's not like some of the older campaigns that were on a rail and you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. This is a lot more freeform. You can mix and match, add and take away. And, yes, it's basically themed around destruction, but that's not bad.
No.
That's not a bad thing.
Not at all.
And I'd like to see more of these. And, of course, because they called it Flashpoint Rondal, I'm pretty much assuming that means it's going to be part of the Flashpoint series. So, this may be the wrap-up for this one, and the next one might be centered around Stormcast, or who knows, maybe Gloomspite.
Yeah. Or Beasts.
Or, anything.
Beasts and Gloomspite are up on the hopper. Of course, when we have the news at 11, we'll see if there's anything that's coming down the pike for us.
Please, AOS Handbook, and get us out of this horrible season. And there's a lot of signs that point to yes. Especially since, like you said, Rob did the whole breakdown of the book. So it's out in the wild, at least for the content creators. So, awesome stuff.
So, that's the new Dawn. And
let's take a quick break and we'll jump into creation.
Oh, yeah. You get to hear about the Ever Chosen. So, I'm excited to talk about that.
That's going to be fun. Yep.
Make sure you join us tonight for the news at 11.
And like the lady said, it be 11. And what does that mean? Well, nothing to you, but to us, it means the article for next week's pre-order is up. And guess what?
We were right.
No way.
Yeah.
General's Handbook, Pitch Battles 2022-23, Season 2. The end of the stuff and the beginning of the new stuff.
Yeah, so, is whatever GHB is, new battle plans, grand strategies, all that stuff. Rules updates, so we're going to move out of the Galician veterans, bounty hunters phase into Galician heroes.
Yeah.
Which is doing a lot more focus on foot troops under 10 wounds. Foot heroes under 10 wounds.
Which honestly, I think is going to help a lot of, I think that's just across the board going to help a lot of factions. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, you think of your abhorrent Archregent or Ghoul King if you're in FEC, if you anything in death for the most part.
Yeah, is going to be, you look at Nighthaunt, every single hero is under 10 wounds.
Yeah.
Now, some of them are unique named, but, oh well.
Yeah, so that's what the big thing is for that, for GHB this season. Excited to see how that shakes out.
And then, you got to say it.
Slaves to the D?
I was going to say you can get your STDs here.
Yeah. Get your STDs, or if you're a slave to the D, either way, there's a battle tome for you coming out. Battle tome Slaves to Darkness. That's right. They're finally doing the full release. It's not something that was kept in a box away from you.
That's right.
So it's not just, hey, the battle tome's here, guys. They're releasing everything.
So a Vanguard box with 17 miniatures.
Right. So you're going to get your Chaos Lord, your Chaos Warriors, 5 Chaos Knights, and a Chariot all in one. I will tell you now, the Chaos Lord and the Chariot are not updated models.
No.
They're still pretty all right, though.
But they do hold up. They're okay.
But the Chaos Warriors and the Knights are the newer kits, so those are gorgeous. Gorgeous models.
Stomping good.
Then, what'll excite the 40K players too,
Ooh,
the Demon Prince.
yes. If you thought a bloodthirster pirouetting on a little dancing shoe thing was lame, here's your new Demon Prince.
There you go, guys.
And, you know, this guy is big enough. He can double as, what's his name? As a, help me out here.
Bellicor?
Well, no, not a Bellicor,
Bloodthirster?
Bloodthirster. Thank you. I could not spit the word out. I'm looking right at the model going, what are you called? Okay, anyway.
What's your name?
Yeah.
Hey.
You can also use them as a, a bloodthirster if you want. I mean, they're not perfect, but hey, if you're on the cheap, that's something to look into.
For sure. The Chaos Lord on Karkadrak was previously in the Start Collecting box, so he's being pieced out into his individual model. Still fantastic model.
It's the beast is it's so Seraphon, and yet so Chaos.
Right. Chaos Seraphon.
Chaosophon? No.
Yeah. Literally impossible, but hey. Then we got, and this model's just gorgeous, Eternus, Blade of the First Prince. That is Bellicor's stolen Varangard that he then raised to his level. But the best thing about this kit is not only is it gorgeous, it doubles as the Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount.
Oh my gosh.
So that's how you get it.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, that Eternus build is so much better looking.
You think? I truly am a fan of both. I'm a big fan of both.
That's that glaive for me, man.
It's beautiful, yeah. I mean, Eternus is just, good golly.
Right? Exalted Hero of Chaos, which came out, I think it was in the box set, right?
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah, so he's dropping as an individual model, as well as, and this is probably what most STD players are going to be excited for, the Chosen, individually packaged.
I know a lot of 40K players who are going to be like, I need 2 boxes of that.
Yeah, I'm playing Khorne. Chaos Warriors are getting their own individual box finally, because for the longest time, they had the push to fit ones that were slammed into the Start Collecting. These are the actual ones where you can build them out, where they have halberds, where they have
weapon
options,
choices,
right?
Yep.
Chaos Knights, same story, I think, right?
Yep.
Upgrade sprue, including command options to adorn your knights. Love it.
Whew.
And some of the boys I'm really looking forward to, the Ogroid Therodons, they just look so amazing. But
They
being able to do those
really
individually.
do. Oh, gosh, they're so good looking.
All those axes, too.
Yeah.
Yep. You get the dice set to go along with it.
Well, of course, because without dice, how can you play the game?
I know, right? Especially, they have to be, I think you are required to play with the dice that have your faction symbol on it.
That's right. Yes.
That's what GW said to do in the most recent releases.
So yeah, just add $38 to whatever it is you're. I'm kidding, people.
And so we'll put the brakes there on any STDs or slaves to the D.
But that was AOS. I mean, that's a lot of AOS
That's
stuff.
a lot of
that's
AOS.
almost an entire faction renewed. So yeah,
in one go.
Yep.
Talk about a faction renewed, Bill. What's up for the Horus Heresy?
Some guy, I'm not sure who this guy is. He's, I guess, some minor named character somewhere. His name is Horus Ascended. So the Horus Ascended model.
Horus Ascended.
We told you this show is going to be weird. Yeah, that beautiful, oh my God, Horus model is just, look at the picture, folks. It is so evocative of that final fight. Just the cloak, the wolf cloak, Horus not completely so chaosified that he's unrecognizable. It's Horus. It's just, he just evokes what it means to be Horus Ascended. He's the bad guy. The big bad guy. I mean, he only lasts in this form a few days, but it's still gorgeous. Unless you're one of the people that believe that it's Horus on the golden throne and not the emperor. Because anyway, that's a conspiracy theory we can talk about later.
And if you are not the type to be ass-ended, we've got the Thousand Suns Mark IV upgrades, as well as the Ultramarines Mark IV upgrades that are coming down the pike as well. They just announced the Alpha Legion ones. Bill, I'm going to run out of money.
Okay.
I'm so excited for those ones.
You can sleep here if you down.
Sorry, babe. Can I at least take my Alpha Legion with me? I spent so much money on it.
No, we're selling it.
What do you mean you're going to use it to pay for the lawyer? They're talking about White Dwarf issue 484. It's all about boarding actions.
Yeah.
You got a Chaos Space Marine on the cover there, other Chaos Space Marines behind him. And
Oh, God.
demonic space hulks is what they're talking about in that one. So
Oh my, Demonic Space Hulk. I like it.
inside, mini photo backdrop, boarding action board tiles, and hobby bingo card.
Yay.
Oh no, it's probably gonna be added to the list of things I have to do.
Yep.
They're gonna get the limited edition Garo Knight of the Gray from the Black Library.
I am
Gorgeous
all
cover.
over that. That is, yeah, they're just going to start doing, well, actually, is that a new? Tells the story of Garo's final hours in the Horus Heresy, Knight of Grey. Yep. Okay. So, oh my God, gorgeous. I'm buying that book. Buying that book.
And they have the non-special edition version where, I mean, this is all about when Garo fights Mortarion.
Yeah.
I think this is, I mean, it's one of the offshoot Siege of Terra books.
Yes.
You know, they have all those, which are like
Yeah,
not
it's
directly in line, but that looks good. Then we've got God Eater's Son.
That's an AOS book
Wow.
for sure.
So I got caught up just looking at his armor.
It's gorgeous. Not everyone is happy with the rule of order in the mortal realms. God Eater's son finds an unlikely hero in Heldenar Fall. Noah Van Noyen's tale of an ordinary person fighting for freedom against the gods, i.e. Sigmar. It will be available on hardback, ebook, and audiobook formats. I am all over that day one, because if he's going up against the establishment, he's my boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
And that armor is gorgeous.
Yeah, very chaosy, huh?
We need his model.
Yeah.
But I don't see any real chaos iconography on there. I think he might just be a free, not anything tied. Oh, no, there is some 8-pointed stars. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, the horn coming out of the shoulder pad, the mouth on the front of his armor.
Noah Van Wyn, I don't know the name of that author. This might be one of his first books, so it's going to be interesting to see. I hope it's good.
No doubt.
And I hope it's a really cool character.
So, Soul Slayer on audiobook up next, followed by Armor of Contempt.
Darius Hinks' book, Soul Slayer. Yeah, Dan Abnett's Armor of Contempt. That's Gaunt's Ghost. Yes, audiobook. Thank you. Hook me up.
And then the Warhammer Plus stuff coming up, the Hobby Hangouts, more battle reports.
Angels of Death Origins. Okay.
Cool beans.
So a little something for everybody. There's a lot of 40K and a lot of AOS. If you are a Slaves to Darkness player, rejoice. Your time is here. If you just play AOS, rejoice. You don't have to play with what I feel like is perhaps a icky season of battle. And you get to move on to a new one. And this one, I think it's going to hit a lot more factions across the board. My problem with this current one is it made the strong factions stronger, and it did nothing to help the weaker factions.
Yeah.
So this one seems like, okay, heroes are under 10 points, not unique, and on foot. Everybody has those. So it's going to give your collection a little enlivening because, not everybody takes those heroes that aren't really super duper because they just don't have an impact and the points aren't there. Maybe there's a point now.
Maybe there is.
So, news at 11.
Fiend.
Yes, well, that's the sort of blinkered Philistine pig ignorance I've come to expect from you non-creative garbage.
Okay, fresh from breakfast and a few laughs, we are ready to roll into much more tame creation than we were talking about. Why don't you kick us off, Josh? What did you create?
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll give you some hints what we're talking about in After Dark, folks.
For sure.
So I just want to real quickly talk about this Ever-Chosen challenge that the local Warhammer shop is doing. Since he says we could say his name, Anders, I tell you, really innovative in terms of trying to get folks into the hobby, expand their hobby, to be able to touch all the ranges that GW puts out.
You betcha.
And so he developed this Ever-Chosen challenge where he has this, and I think we talked about it last year, but he has a trophy.
Yep.
And if you earn the Ever-Chosen spot by getting the most points through this packet throughout the year, then your name is put on the trophy as the Ever-Chosen of that year.
Yep.
And so, I mean, it goes through and has some explanation for things, but I'm just going to be real quick to break a lot of it down because it's all hobbying stuff. It's building, it's painting, it's playing in different game modes. So it's trying to get into Underworlds because you've never done it before. If you always want to try Necromunda, go for it, right?
Right.
If you're like, man, Lord of the Rings is the literal worst, but I'll try it out, you get points for it. And so he starts out, I mean, we talked a little bit about Hobby Bingo from White Dwarf.
Sure.
That's been folded into this.
Yep.
The White Dwarf Hobby Bingo for 2023. It is, if you've looked at the White Dwarf, you have, your standard spread on the bingo card, but they're all in halves, right?
Yes.
So you have a hobby side of it and a play side of it, right? And so you get points for all the, I think how Anders is working it. You get points for each completed row or column. You double total points for completing both hobby and game space if the card is completed.
Yeah.
Right? And so, you look at the rows. Each thing is 10 points each, right? So you actually get 20 points per square, right?
It's a great, yeah.
And it's a 5x5 grid, right? So that's going to be, what, 500 points?
Yeah.
But it doubles if you complete the entire thing.
1,000 points.
1,000 points, right?
And these are not things like, oh my God, I could never do that. This is, one of the boxes is paint a vehicle or monster.
Yep.
Okay, or. So that's worth 10 points right there.
Yep.
And then the flip side of that is you play a over 1,000 point game of Warhammer 40K. All right.
Yeah.
Who's not going to do that over the course of a year?
Play Warhammer Age of Sigmar under 1,000 points.
Right.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah, me too. They have Warcry, Kill Team, any game, right?
Yes.
So it's ways for you to, as you play these games throughout the year to earn points towards potentially getting your name on that ever-chosen trophy. But there are other things going on here. Oh, this is so good. So he has the Path to Armies on Parade. And so there are, every 2 months, essentially, there's a new, painting, I don't want to call it competition necessarily, right? Because it's not, high-level stuff, but a painting show-off, I guess you'd call it, where folks can go in and vote for you.
Yep.
Right? And again, it's people who vote for you are, literally just people off the street.
Sure.
And it's rule of cool stuff, so
It's
whatever people
everybody
are
in the store.
yeah. Anyone who walks in is like, oh my God, I really like Necrons, so they vote for that, even though it's the most god-awful painting job I've ever
Sure.
seen.
But, you're going to pick what you like and
Yep. So there's no rubric to it, but it's fine, right? Because what it is a way for you to get through it. So you start with New Army, New Year, which is a starter army, 500 points AOS, full gang in Necromunda, 500 points in, 40K, that kind of stuff, right? Then you get to the Supreme Command where you build and paint a leader and bodyguard unit. So this would be something where if you had a certain leader who would be protecting him, right?
Right.
Be super easy in Death Guard, right? What do I have? I've got my Lord of Contagion and I've got my Death Shroud, right?
Bingo.
Done. You're playing Ogor Maw Tribes. Here's my Tyrant, Unit of Iron Guts.
Yeah.
Right?
Hello. Done.
You have your Gods of War where you build or paint a legendary character. And that's more referencing your Magnuses, your Archaons, right? That kind of thing. So that's really big stuff, named characters.
Yeah.
Ones who actually matter in the army. So for me, it's going to
The
be
tech list and Nagash, something, what's his name? The big name guys.
big guys.
So many videos online to painting those, do Marathi, do whatever floats your boat.
Whatever fits your army, because the ultimate goal of this is the Armies on Parade display, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
Next one was Magicians and Machines. So you build, paint a vehicle or magic user, right? So I want to make my Dreadnought, right?
Oh, yeah.
I want to make my, I don't know, one of your planes. You got your Boomdack. No, sorry, that was a different thing. Your jets, right? Boomdack and Snazwagon is what almost came out because that kind of looks like a plane.
Actually.
Yeah, your jets. I mean, the Boomdack and Snazwagon work too because it's a machine. It's a vehicle. And then Battlefront is where you build a piece, build and paint a piece of terrain or scenery.
Yeah.
With the end goal being your armies on display board. So this is all walking you up to Armies on Parade.
Armies on Parade.
Here's the challenge, folks, for us is that you can't double dip.
That's right.
You cannot use the hobby bingo for your Armies on Parade.
Yes.
Right? So you have to do this. And then what you do here, what you have on the side is how many points they're worth. So 100 just for entering, right? If you paint it to parade ready, 200 points.
Yep.
If you win the competition, 400 points, right? This is just for
Bingo.
the starter army.
Yep.
But then it varies for each one. Like leader
Sure.
or bodyguard is 100, 150, 300.
Yeah.
Right? And again, it's pretty much anyone's game. Then, because this is the Ever Chosen, a substantial amount of this is based on chaos. And so you've got the Eightfold Path for Khorne, the Books of Knowledge Challenge for Tzeentch, the Path of Six Excesses for Slaanesh, the Great Gardener Challenges, which is Nurgle-based. Then you have the Undivided Challenges and Armies on Parade. Eightfold Path is when you're actually playing games, you can issue challenges to your opponents and say, instead of trying to get, for every game you win, you get a point.
Sure.
Right? I think it's actually every game you play, you get a point. And so then you can issue a challenge where you say, this game, my general is going to kill that unit.
Mm-hmm.
and I will forgo any additional points. You have to win the game.
Yes.
You don't get the additional point for winning the game, but instead, if you kill that unit and win, you get 4 points,
Bingo.
right? And so you can do each one once.
Yes. These are some really cool challenges to spice up your game a little bit. So one of them is your AOS general kills an enemy behemoth or Lord of War. You get 16 points for that bad boy.
Woo!
If you bring it off, you're good. So, I mean, all of these are just little ways to make the game a little more interesting and, put a little skin in the game, if you will.
You really want something that I love this at the very end of it. The very last one. Read that out, Bill. AOS or 40K, add a splatter of blood for the blood god to your general.
Yeah.
So that's the eightfold path.
That's
right.
Yeah. Hello.
Like you get to the end of it, you've done all this killing, and so then
Yeah.
you are covered in
covered
the
in
violence.
guts. I like it.
The Books of Knowledge Challenge for Zinch is so there's going to be a book every month.
Yes.
Right? We're starting with Cursed City for the first month. I've already read it. Fantastic book. Like actually just really well written.
Yeah.
So then every month we'll have a new book of the month.
Yep.
Every 3 months, we're going to have a trivia night.
Yes.
Where we
With
sit down
food.
with food and go over, and ask specific questions about each book. So it's not just reading, it's retention. So I think that's actually going to be a really fun process.
Yeah.
Right?
That's going to be just for the lore hounds. And
Right.
that's going to be great fun.
The Great Gardener Challenge is this one's a tough one. This is a
Yes.
really tough one because it asks you to play every game system.
Every
from
system
GW
out there.
that's out right now. Underworld.
Necromunda, 40K, Blood Bowl, Kill Team, Horus Heresy, Warcry, Underworlds, Lord of the Rings.
All of it. But they all have like really fun little things that are tied to it. Like for Warcry, if you tame a monster, you get 75 points
Yeah.
towards your overall total.
Yep.
If you play in the event at the store, you get 200 points.
Yep.
Right? But then they have other things too. Create, and I already got my points for this, custom Necromunda character or vehicle, 200 points.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There are 3 of those. There's an Anvil of Apotheosis and a Crusade option.
Yep.
Right? All of those, boom, 200 points. So these are all fun little ways to build it up and get into new games. You have learn to play options where either you learn from someone else or
Yep.
you teach someone else.
Right. Either
Absolutely
way.
fantastic. Either way, you're both getting points for that.
Sure.
And you should because you're building camaraderie there.
That's right. Community. It's all about community.
It is. So Path of 6 Excesses. This one's going to be tough because this is where it's like it may or may not happen.
Right.
Right? And so this one, you have different kinds of points right here, right? So the excess of richness, which is at the end of the year, participate in the Red Gobbo gift exchange.
Yep.
We do that every year, our quote Secret Santa or Red Gobbo gift
Yeah.
exchange,
Yep.
where you get your list of what someone wants, you buy them presents, boom, wrapped under the tree. We have a holiday party, we distribute those.
Yep.
Then bring painted terrain set to store events.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
And
So
that's up to 6 times, 100 points apiece.
yep.
So if you're bringing terrain to help out and make the boards look cooler, yeah, boom, here's it.
And a little fun one here. Perfect trivia scores, 6 points
Oh.
per box.
Oh,
So
That's hard.
yeah, that is going to be hard, especially since there's 6 boxes, only 4 trivia.
Yeah.
But we'll figure that out.
Whoops.
But that's Slanesh, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
Slanesh.
Let's excess.
Yeah. Excess of sustenance, completely paint 3,000 points of a single army this year, which Path to Armies does, or Path to Glory does.
Yeah, pretty
Path to
well.
Armies on Parade counts for this.
Sure.
I'm just trying to mix all my favorite path words. Path words, get it, Bill?
Yes, I get it.
Pathword 1, 2, 3.
Oh, God.
And yeah, I'm going to be going for that for sure. But yeah, that's fun little stuff. Then he has all these undivided challenges, right?
Yes.
Where, he's already put a couple in here.
Yep.
One of them is paint a Horus Heresy Primarch for May.
That's cool.
That is really cool. So I'll probably paint Alfarius
Yep.
because I intend to use the Snaky Boys for
Nice.
the Horus Heresy League coming up.
Nice.
Just because I already painted 2,000 points of it.
Sure. You might as well double
Might
down.
as well. Go hard or go home.
Yep. But yeah, the undivided section of this is for the different things that he comes up with along the year.
Yeah.
Or during the year.
Yep.
He can assign points to it and, make it count. Because we don't always know what's coming up during the year. So he's left that for expansion, if you
Yeah.
will, Make sure it's open-ended. That's something we said about narrative, right? Make sure it's open.
So, hey, how does this factor into what we're about to talk about with creation?
I don't know. Did you do any of this?
I might have done a lot.
All
Okay.
right.
So, we had the option if you were able to get the White Dwarf, with the Hobby Bingo, you could start going ham on it already.
Yep.
Right? So, Josh, what did you paint over the holidays? Dear Lord, I have some stuff I painted. So, and Bill was very helpful with this because he just happened to have a spare King of the Dead from Middle Earth sitting around. So I was like, I think I'll try Middle Earth. My in-laws said they'll try it out. Let me go and get a starter army going. Watched a lot of videos, read a lot of stuff. Looks like the Army of the Dead is just an all-around good starter army. Pretty resilient, has a nice little like kitschy thing it does, and gets you in the game.
Yeah.
Has some drawbacks for sure, but it's still pretty strong overall.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I'll make the starter army. It means I can learn on it. I can teach other people with it. So if I make my Rohan army, and pull a Nick with Eowyn, then I'll be able to.
I'm no man.
Let someone else play with it. So I literally painted up the entire Return of the King Legendary Legion.
Nice.
Minus Gimli and Legolas just for points, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather fit more dead boys in there.
Sure.
So that is Aragorn, the King of the Dead, both, well, I spelled that wrong, her lads of the dead, both heralds of the dead.
Her lads?
Her lads. I mean, yeah, I guess they are her lads.
Yeah.
4 riders of the dead, 4 warriors with spears, 4 warriors with spears and shields, and the remainder with shields and just hand weapons.
Yep.
Right? Which, I mean, all in all, it's painting ghosts, so it's not complicated, but I'd go over, with the Hex Wraith Flame.
Yep.
Then I would, do all the metals. Then I would dry brush up with Ulthuan Grey. And then if I wanted to hit any cloth or anything like that with a little extra, in fact, I would do Agrax over the shield.
Yeah.
So on all the metals, I did Agrax. But then I would also do Agrax over the shield to make it look brown without going too hard on a contrast style paint,
Yeah, you still want it to be super desaturated. You're dead.
So boom, 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 do all that, and then a sort of light, sort of just downward motion with White Scar just to really hit the edges.
Yeah.
But then I actually spent a heck a long time on Aragorn.
Yeah.
I have him 3 or 4 layers up.
Nice.
It just went that far up. So I went hard on that, right? So I came out to 26 total models.
Yep.
Which you're that's almost 1,000 points in Middle Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I'm not playing Survivors of Lake Town or Goblins of Moria, where you have a bajillion models on the field. I painted a unit of Chthonian Berserks. I found out that literally everyone and their mom is doing Leagues of Votann for New Army New Year. So that's going to be a little bit my slow grow in 40K.
Yeah, I hear you.
My main focus in 40K is going to be World Eaters.
What?
What? Who would have thought, right? In fact, I started a unit of World Eater Berserkers, painting them last night. And these are all my converted ones where I took the Blood Warriors from AOS, slapped a gun on their hip, put a backpack on them.
Nice.
And
boom,
we got Berserkers.
Huzzah.
But Josh, what about the 2-handed chain axe weapons? I'm glad you asked. If you notice, Blood Warriors, every 5 models has a 2-handed weapon. Who'd have thunk I'd get there, right?
Wow.
Seems like it's very corny for that to happen. So I started working up on that. I converted a Dark Apostle. I took Drom from the new Underworld set, the Gore Chosen of Drom. So he's the priest.
Yeah.
Right? He is now my 40K priest.
Nice.
What happened? Backpack and a gun. We got there, folks.
Backpack and a gun.
Now, I know that it's probably I've just converted everything in this.
Sure.
And I'm just amping it all up. For his 2 little dorky minions that go around with him, I'm actually going to put Goliath on 25 mil bases. And so he's going to have these roided out dudes walking around with him, helping him with his books. And if I can convert it, I have an extra one of the flaming tomes from the Khador Redemptionist gang.
Nice.
So I'm going to try and convert one of the Goliaths to holding the tome,
he's that book up.
Chasing it after the Dark Apostle with it. So yeah, we're going to get there. That was
nice.
fun. But for Necromunda, I finished painting up my Skaven Venator gang.
Oh yeah.
This is super fun because I've already painted up a Doom Wheel and we're bringing in 1,000 points plus 400 for vehicles.
Nice.
So it's a small gang. It's 6 models, but they're armed to the teeth. The leader he starts out with a plasma gun.
Oh Jesus.
And I think I put a refractor field on him. You know, the one that explodes in light wherever they hit him.
Yeah.
And then they all have like really good like guns and stuff. But it was this like project that I'd done. I talked about it before where I converted all of those Necromunda models into Skaven models with the rat heads.
Sure.
This is the manifestation of that, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So I have a doom wheel for the
that's awesome.
when we're out in the world. It's just like, yeah, that's
People are going to be looking at Necromunda board going, what the hell is that?
what's happening right now.
Yeah. Where are we?
Right? Yeah, I'm just gonna count the twin like warp lightning guns on the front, the cannons as mining lasers.
Sure. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy peasy.
Perfect.
Mining lasers are good. So yeah, I did do some OBR stuff. I'll talk a little bit later about.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just real quick. Not the Soul Mason. What is it called? The Bone Shaper, the Gothizzar Harvester, and 20 Mortek Guard.
Nice.
That I've already. The Mortek Guard, I've only built and primed 10 of them, but I almost have them fully painted.
Nice.
So I just wanted to really get down the paint scheme for them because this actually ties to a gift my wife gave me where she got me the Skull Knight from Berserk.
Oh.
And it's this beautifully like huge and sculpted model that I was looking at like, oh, that'd be fun if I'd use that as Catacross. And if I ever did OBR, I just had to make sure I have his little tendons on the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it too long.
Yeah.
And so I bought OBR.
There you go.
I'm painting them in a metal scheme.
Yeah.
Josh, you're crazy. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
So that was my creation. What would you do, Bill?
So in December, I had a little bit of time. Most of my waking moments were devoted to working on the LVO stuff, but I did have a big BattleTech game that was coming up, so I had to paint mechs for that. So I got those knocked out. I received in the mail a box that had a whole bunch of Avengers characters for MCP, along with a note saying, please. So built and painted up an Avengers team for a friend of mine who, he can't paint. So, and he can't really assemble. His hands are all messed up. Yeah, got those knocked out. The beauty of MCP is that's like a game that's almost, unless you're going real high end, it just screams contrast.
Yeah.
They're so easy to do. So knocked out 12 characters so that he has a full roster plus a couple to monkey around with. Finished building the novitiates for Kill Team. So kind of looking forward to getting that in the Ever-Chosen campaign there. Going to use probably Kill Team as my first entry into that. Of course, like I said, the biggest thing I have been monkeying around with is LVO. Getting squared away and ready for that. Still a ton of work to do, but I got a couple weeks, so I think we'll be good. Hoping. One thing I did want to mention, and this harkens back to a Christmas present I got. My wife got me a Rocket Book for Christmas. And if you don't know what a Rocket Book is it's a really basically it's a pad that you can write on with the Pilot. I don't know if anyone has seen the Pilot friction pens. They're basically dry erase pens. They're a lot more stable than dry erase. If you write on specially made paper, which is kind of plastic coated but still papery, it writes like just a normal pen, do whatever you want, but it doesn't wipe off that easy. If you wet it, it comes right off. So very, very handy for taking notes and then being able to get rid of them. But the beauty of the Rocket Book is the pages are all delineated and they have a barcode. They also have icons at the bottom. You scan it with your phone, it takes it to their server. It will OCR it and shoot it back to you as either an email, or it also connects to a whole bunch of different apps. It connects to OneNote, it connects to Evernote, all these other things. So it will shoot right into whatever your preferred. And I like to take notes by writing. I find that if I type, I don't retain it as if I had written it.
Fair.
So I like to write notes, and that's why I have my Rocket Book with me a lot, because I can take notes, scan it, erase it, boom, ready to go again. They also, on the Rocket Book site, they have these cards. And I probably shouldn't have just sprung these on you, but yeah, basically that's what the cards look like.
Okay.
And I have been looking for ways to easily write down my paint creation notes. And I saw these on their website and I'm like, that's it. I have the pen. I have the cards come in packs of 40. I can, for each model that I'm doing, I can write down what I did. boom, scan it in. It goes automatically to my OneNote. Boom, my recipes are saved for all time. So
Nice.
super freaking handy. And, it takes 2 seconds to scan, however long it takes you to write these things down. But, I mean, it's super convenient. So that's my little creation tip is look into the Rocketbook index cards and, get it set up, scan it into your phone and spit it out to your favorite app or just email it to you as a text file.
I like it.
And you can keep it wherever you like. So
That's cool. That's cool.
but that's really my creation. That's it.
Awesome. Well, that moves us into battle. I really didn't get to play any games over the holidays. Either just couldn't get a table space or what have you. But with everything coming up this year with Everchosen, we'll expect a lot more of that to come on through the pike. So, I think I turn it over to you, Bill.
Okay, so the only thing I had, and we'll cover this a lot more in After Dark, but we did that relatively a lot more organized BattleTech game with the commanders basically in a different room, only talking to us via walkie-talkies.
Love it.
Oh my God. Okay, so the first time we did this, it was off the cuff. It was just boom, let's not have any real rules. Let's just do it, see if it's fun. It was a blast. This time we had a whole set of battle plans and the generals had drawn up. Only the generals knew all about the terrain. And so they were basically briefing us on what we could expect. And then we got into the room and saw where our stuff was set up and went, oh my God. So anyway, a lot more in After Dark because nobody wants to hear that. But it was so much fun. It was crazy.
The concept always just sounds so cool. So when we unfurl that in After Dark, it sounds like it's gonna be a hoot. So
It was. Yeah.
stay tuned, folks.
Yeah. So let's take a quick break and we will jump into our lore, which is all about New Year, New Army.
Let's do it.
All right.
We interrupt this program to annoy you and make things generally irritating.
Okay, this just in. Our lore for this week is kind of going to be a little bit of what we're thinking about doing. It's New Year, New Army. So, Josh, are you going to... Oh, wait, you've already told us what you're doing. Why don't you expand?
Okay.
You want to do our AOS stuff first, and then we'll go into the 40K stuff?
Yeah, I'll play a little tennis with that. So
Sure.
AOS, like I said earlier, is the OBR stuff. My wife got that custom Skull Knight model. The way she's painting it is very like going into the silver on the armor because it is very silver.
Nice.
You don't really know what's under the armor other than blackness, right? Glowing red eyes. So she's painted up in this very beautiful like gradient of silver that she's been working on, right? I thought, that'd be funny if I used him as Catacross. And then she's been painting him more and more, and like the more I starts looking, I was like, actually, maybe I should do that. So I just, quick and dirty, like our whole thing is always going to be what's the narrative tie-in, right?
Right.
Now, presently, the army isn't where I want it to be to really say, here's where the story is, because I just picked up some of the models, right? Just to get painting, just to get them working and get my ideas flowing.
Yeah.
So general concepts. All of them, I always thought, hey, it'd be fun to paint an OBR army in, frankly, metallic.
Yeah.
Right? Works for the Necrons,
Sure.
which is, I guess they're sort of like the AOS Necrons in a way.
Yeah.
They just stand back up.
Yeah.
Kind of. So I started with the 20 more tech, the Godstar Harvester, the Bone Shaper. I might pick up the Liege Cavalos
Oh, yeah.
this afternoon with a box of Death Riders. That's assuming I don't completely change my mind and go Lumineth, but Bill and I were chatting about that earlier.
We were really having...
We're like,
Second
what if we just did
thoughts.
Lumineth, man? Like, see, that's the
so
thing, Bill, right?
Tempted, except for the battle line,
Here it is, Bill, right now. This is narrative processing right now, right? It's just we both go Lumineth. We both create these sort of like rivalrous characters. Like each one is like going after the other, and then what we do is we shift into the different types. So like whether it's going to be stone, air, or base cavalry stuff. So I'm going to let that sit for a little bit while I keep talking about this narrative. So general narrative I have for this Legion is that they are the OBR from Chamon.
Yeah.
And well, that's where like the realm of metal is, right?
Yeah. That gives you all kinds of cool opportunity.
And so the main thing about Bone Reapers is they are just made of bone. Of course,
right.
they have the Naderite weapons and stuff, but like literally everything else is supposed to be bone.
Yeah. It's all from the Bone Tithe. So
Exactly. But in this instance, it's a strange occurrence that this particular legion of them is for some reason coated in this metal, right? Which isn't truly what Bone Reapers are. And if you've read any of the stuff, like any of the books, like they are petty.
Yeah.
And they are nasty to each other,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they're all sort of like in a way competing for what they want to do or where they want to go within the ranks. And so I was going to make it so like this is perhaps a more recent occurrence for this particular legion. And because of that, they've essentially been looked down on by all the others. And so it's sort of a quest to whether they're going to find a way to fix it or become stronger than their opponents, right?
I
So-
say screw it, just go full bore Wolverine.
I mean, that's probably what they would end up doing for OBR, but I still haven't congealed who like the concept of my general is,
Yeah.
right? Whether or not I use a Catacrow stand-in for actual gameplay, just like who is the leader? I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to make it a Liege, Cavalos, or, guy on the toilet bowl. I'm not sure yet. But either way, that porcelain is going to be silver.
There you go.
Oh my God, no, I have to make it the Golden Throne.
Oh, you have to. Oh my God, now you've said it. So let it be said, so let it be done.
So how I've been painting them is it's a silver base. Then what looks like the armor plates is Blood Angels red.
Nice.
Okay. Then for the Naderite weapons, the base coat on that is I did Achillean green over it.
Yeah.
And I'll work that up so that way like it looks like it has a glow effect to it. Their eyes are the Tesseract glow.
Sure.
And then I use a little bit of gold here and there. All the cloth is white. There's not a lot of cloth on
Right.
OBR,
Nope.
right? But there's enough, and white as the accent,
Sure. That works with silver. Perfect.
perfect.
Yep.
Silver, red, white, Balthazar gold. Like it's all just within the realm. And the few models that I've painted up, because I painted up the 10 Mortec
Yeah.
so far, looks great.
Cool.
One thing I haven't figured out yet is the basing. Kind of feel deserty, but I'm not sure yet. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Chamon, so you can kind of get away with anything, really.
Yeah.
It's your call.
I feel like whatever I do, I just like do like little like dry brushing of some type of metallic just to like, is there like a light sparkle there?
Just a little bit of, yeah.
So
What you should do is invest in that liquid chrome and have, the bases have like a little rivulet of what would be like maybe mercury or something flowing through. So
that's a great idea.
Just throwing it out there. I don't know.
yeah, depending on how expensive the paint is, I might do that.
It's, the green stuff world chrome isn't really, I mean, it's not that in your face, oh my God, chrome stuff that costs way too much per bottle. But I mean, it's actually really, really bright. That's chrome.
Yeah.
So yeah, something to think about. I don't know. Just
I like that idea. Thanks, Bill. That is if we don't pursue our new
our new,
Lumineth rivalries.
I love it. That's funny.
Yeah, so that was my AOS idea so far.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. As a placeholder. So my AOS is going to be strictly Daughters of Cain. And I was vacillating way hard. Again, I wanted to do Lumineth. After listening to Cubic Shenanigans and those guys talking about their fights with Lumineth, it just really was intriguing to think about Lumineth without Teclis.
Yep.
So, but I ended up settling back on Daughters because I really, really want a Daughters of Cain army. And I think there's a lot of options there. And I've already, in my backstory that I wrote for my free city in, what's his name? In Gur, not Gur, I'm sorry. Hello. The one with Hammerhall in it. Okay. Anyway. But for my free city, there is a regiment of Daughters of Cain there, and they have a built-in hatred for the Stormcast that are there, but they have thrown in as their allies against the Skaven that were coming out, as well as the rest of Chaos and Nurgle. They kind of threw in with this Skink Star Priest who was sort of representing the Seraphon in the area. And so they have a tendency to be a little more enlightened than some Daughters of Cain. They're really down with the idea of Marathi being a goddess, and they love sticking that in the face of the Stormcast. You can just imagine two groups that are functionally allies that absolutely hate each other. And so they're a lot of fun. And then this weekend, Friday, I went to one of the game stores here, Enton Games, and they had, I don't know if you know the game from Cool Mini or not, called Zombicide.
Yep.
If you don't, you've probably lived under a rock for way too long. But Zombicide has all these different cool packs you can get now for the good guys. And the new one they're coming out with is Thundercats. And they just released pack number 1, which has Lion-O, Chitara, Snarf, and Slythe.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, Thundercats to me it's not from my youth because I was a lot older when they came out, but I still love Thundercats. And the Chitara model, I looked at that and said, oh my God, that's a Daughter of Cain. So that's what pushed me over the top to go with Daughters of Cain, is that conversion is going to be so much fun. And I like the idea of throwing down some snake ladies and some nasty, mean, icky ladies. And I really do need to work on flesh tones. And I think Daughters of Cain is a great way to do that.
I agree. Almost like Lumineth, right?
Yeah. Stop it. So, yeah, that's why I want to go Daughters of Cain. So, anyway, moving on to 40K. You want me to start 40K since I'm already talking?
Sure. Sounds good to me.
So, for 40K, my New Year, New Army is going to be a smattering of all things, to finish out what I already have. But I'm going to concentrate on Sisters of Battle, who incidentally just got nerfed by Anyway, I'm kidding. I'm trying not to be. It's so hard not to say stuff like that.
Right.
But anyway, I'm going to do Sisters of Battle, and I'm not going to lie. My entire narrative pick for doing Sisters is simply down to playing Warhammer Inquisitor and playing my Sister of Battle in that. And I have what I think is a really great color scheme for her. So my Sisters of Battle for 40K are literally going to be the Caligari Conclave's sub-order, and they serve nothing but the Conclave, i.e. the Inquisition. And they are just literally, we are here when the Inquisition says, those people offend me, the sisters stand up and go, oh, just give us a few minutes. They'll go away.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, we got this. So, and that's going to be their thing rather than having any, red, white, black. They're going to be just pretty much black armor with a lot of blue and different shades of blue. And just, I mean, I love them. I just love the thought of that army. And, whether or not it's true that they got really hurt by these changes, I don't think so. They lost Armor of Contempt. That's all they lost. So we'll wait and see. I'm going to build it and play it anyway. I don't care. So I think they're just going to be a lot of fun and they're going to be cool.
I think so too. I really do. The thing about Sisters is even if something makes it seem like they're not that strong, you just have to sort of pivot a little bit.
Yeah.
Because one of the things they do really well is that they do melee insanely well. They always have done it. Maybe they get a little bit by this, but I've got Flamers. I've got Meltas.
And the thing is you've always had to plan with Sisters of Battle. If you think you're just going to run up and get stuck in, you're forgetting that your armor sucks.
Yeah.
You are not power armored Space Marines. You can go in and get stuck in if you want. The problem is the hit back is going to hurt a lot.
A lot.
You have to think about how you use them.
Exactly.
So that's something that I'm terrible at and I would like to get better. So obviously build it and play it.
Precisely.
That's the only way I know if you get better is to actually do it.
Oh,
so
you got to practice.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? I think that's what gets you to Carnegie Hall. Someone told me.
10,000 hours?
Yeah.
Playing Sisters of Battle?
Yeah.
Wow. That'll be weird if I'm ever on stage. I'm sorry.
Tonight, for your consideration, I will be playing our martyred lady.
2,000 points of.
If you played 10,000 hours of Sisters of Battle,
oh my God,
you would have mastered it.
That's true. You would.
Like if anyone you would be an expert in the subject.
Yes.
It's not a bad place to be.
Yeah, I know, wouldn't it? All right, what are you doing for 40K before
40K.
we get down that rabbit hole?
World Leaders, baby. It's time. I spent so much time last year customizing my World Leaders army, knowing that they were coming down the pike.
But it's a new year, new army.
Oh, I mean, I haven't painted it yet. And it's going to be new in 2 to 4 weeks when it's released.
Pretty much, yeah. It's going to be bonkers.
So my goal with a lot of it was converting so much. The old Berserkers look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The new Berserkers still didn't get there for me. So it's Blood Warriors all the way, baby.
Yeah.
And I'll probably pick up some of the new stuff and then just convert it over to the AOS Blood Warriors.
Sure.
I don't even know if I need that much. I mean, I have 20 Berserkers built.
Yeah.
Which is 4 units of 5.
Yep.
The only problem I have is the Icon Bearer issue because you only have 1 per.
Yeah.
The question is the Icon Bearer going to be necessary for the new book? Blah, 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 blah. Either way.
Time will tell.
Yeah. I already had the 5, what are they called? Terminators I did.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to work out for the Red Butchers right now. Like, they're not a new unit or anything. Their new unit was the 8-bound and the Exalted 8-bound, which are just fancy possessed, which I think it's cool that they actually gave them different possessed as opposed to different Terminators, because that always seems to be the thing, is what's your fancy Terminator,
Yep.
Maybe it's just that Red Butchers are just bloody good Terminators. I mean,
it's, one thing about World Eaters is they're not tricksy. They're not going to hide what they're doing from you. It's pretty much out in the open.
Yeah, and it's coming for you.
This is what we do. We get in, and I truly love the way they did the write-up about those guys saying, these guys have no ranged weapons. They are a melee unit.
Yeah.
They are the best melee unit in the game.
Yep.
But they have to get there.
If they get there, just pick it off the table.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, pick up your toys, mate.
So, yeah, Berserkers from Blood Warriors, Terminators from Wrathmongers. I converted a Hellbrute from the Space Wolves Dreadnought.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Just because, I mean, if you really look at it, and I'm not saying that Space Wolves are, almost cornate monsters, but the one, I can't remember which hero it is, but the face they have where it's their face and they've got like their hair slicked back.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of looks like the Butcher's nails, right?
Yeah. Let's not go there.
I took parts from a Bloodthirster that I wasn't going to use. So I have the one-handed axe and the whip. Those are the weapons actually crafted onto that Hellbrute. Like I'd spend so much time kit bashing that. Same thing with one of the melee 40K models. Which one is it? The big one that came out more recently.
Not the possessed.
No, the Dreadnought.
The
Leviathan.
Leviathan. There you go.
So I have a customized Chaos Leviathan. I took the Space Marine from Bellacor's base. He's standing on top of like a heap of scrap. He's got like the spiky poles sticking out of him. And there's a Space Marine that's like laying there with like his soul drifting out of him. Nice. And so like I spent a lot of time on that. I also made that custom Demon Prince, which is Bellacor's wings on an Avatar of Cain model.
Yeah.
Avatar of Khorne.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I've been so ready for this for so long. I'm making it happen. That's my new Army New Year.
I like it.
Whether or
you
not,
really have been working on this for a crap long time.
Yeah.
So
time to make it manifest, right?
you betcha. I like it.
So, yeah, it's my 40K new Army New Year.
Absolutely. So that's pretty much. There's one other thing I kind of wanted to mention, and this is in passing, but if you are a teacher or someone else in the educational field or the club kind of field, talk to a store manager or get in contact through the Warhammer community site, because they have for 2023 they have a new Warhammer Alliance package that you can get, and especially for schools and what have you, and it's the magazine that comes with it, or the pamphlet that comes with it is really good. It's kind of like a pared down Imperium magazine. It's an activity book, so yes, there is some like color it in stuff, but there's also building and painting, and there's in the activity box, there's sprue after sprue after sprue of models and paint.
Love it.
And, this is a great way to get kids into the hobby so that you can, suck money out of their parents.
Yeah.
And, now, I mean, the Warhammer Alliance thing is a really great way for school clubs to basically you get free stuff and you can get the kids going without having to spend your own money on it. We know teachers have to spend so much of their own money just to get freaking pencils and paper to use in their classroom.
Ridiculous.
Anything to take some of that. Yeah, it's stupid. But anything to take some of that load off. And, Warhammer, really all you have to do for these things is show your credentials as, a teacher and a person who runs a club for your school.
Yeah.
And they will support you. And, Not just, oh, here's a box, don't talk to us again. They will literally hook you up
Yeah.
and make sure that you're, I mean, because think about it, they have a vested interest in getting these kids hooked at an early age.
Of course.
Let's face it, these guys are nothing more than pushers.
Oh, yeah.
So any movie you've seen about drugs applies.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way, because much rather have a kid addicted to this than anything else. Because at least for this, they have to read. But yeah, definitely if you're in that teaching venue, look for the Warhammer Alliance. Whole new year, new program, new box of stuff, and it is crazy good. So something for you to think about if you're a teacher. What else do we have for the actual show before we roll into After Dark?
So that, I mean, this is just sort of a brief look at what we're looking forward to this year. Certainly not a full-on plan for the year.
No.
Obviously, we're going to be continuing the narrative series, which is going to be very important. So
Yes.
keep an eye out for that. And, you know, really this Everchosen is going to be maybe kind of our way of
Yeah.
just keeping ourselves honest about what we're doing in the game.
Keeping in the hobby and keeping going.
So I'm looking forward to doing all of it, right? Trying to get every single point that I can because it means that I progressed my hobby that far.
Yeah.
So let's kick some butt this year, Bill.
Damn straight. This is really, one of my New Year's resolutions was to actually try to spend less time working and more time playing with the stuff that I have a shed full of.
Yeah.
And, obviously January is a wash for me because of LVO, but making that work is awesome. That is so much fun. And, it's all thought work. It's all thinking stuff. So that's cool. But once that is over, yeah, I really want to knuckle down and finally say that I'm going to do an army and do it.
Yeah.
And actually accomplish that thing. So by saying I'm going to do a Daughters of Cain thing, I really want to do that, to finish something I said I was going to do, unless we do Lumina Thrill Lords. It's coming, folks. Just trust me on this one. It's coming.
Yeah. And next show, it's going to be like, all right, so what Bill and I did is we decided he was going to do hammers and I was going to do foxes. And
yeah, it's going to be weird. Okay. So I think with that, we will wrap up our New Year, New Army show. A little crazy, like I said, really, just wanted to get something out there, let you know we were still alive. It's a very dark period for AOS right now, just because of the push on 40K. But you can see from next week's pre-orders, our
darkness
time is coming.
is continuing.
Well, we got the darkness is continuing, but yeah, it's slaves to darkness, and a new General's Handbook that we will obviously digest and talk about the next time we meet.
Yeah, folks, look forward to that. Definitely going to dive into that one. We've already covered the Path to Glory for the slaves, so certainly we're not going to dive into that. But I'm sure next time it's going to put us after LVO. I think, right? Or the week before?
It's going to have to be after. I can't see myself recording that weekend before.
So, folks, hang tight for a little bit. So I imagine it's going to be a little bit of a period.
Yes.
But I think we're going to have a ton of stuff to talk about next time we're here.
Oh, yes. Yes, we will.
So y'all get ready for it. But again, Happy New Year. Hope you had happy holidays. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you after dark.
If you would like to get in touch with us, you can reach us at our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. Our Patreon page is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, again, all one word. The Twitter account for the show is at rolling_bad. Our individual Twitters are, for me, at Bill Castello, BILLCASTELLO. And for Josh, you can reach him at Anoyo, ANOYOE. All the guests on the show will have their contact information in that show's show notes. The music in the show is used courtesy of Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and is used under the Creative Commons license. The Rolling Bad podcast itself is protected under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. Information for this license can be found at creativecommons.org.